evening and welcome. It is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021, and it is approximately 7:04 p.m. We are convened as the Provo City School District Board of Education at 280 West, 940 North in Provo, Utah. And we will begin with a roll call, and we'll start with Gina.
Gina Hales, Board Member.
Jennifer Partridge, Board Member.
Rebecca Nielsen, Board Vice President.
Melanie Hall, Board President.
Keith Rutell, Superintendent.
McKay Jensen, Board Member.
Terry McCabe, Board Member.
Nate Bryson, Board Member.
Is there a motion to convene?
I move that we convene the business meeting.
All right, we are now in our business meeting. We will begin with opening remarks by Board Member Jennifer Partridge.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank those of you who are here with us tonight and those who are watching over YouTube. In this month of Thanksgiving, I just wanted to make sure that we thank our teachers, our staff, our administrators, all of our support professionals. We just appreciate you so much and all that you do to help our students, to educate them, to help them feel loved and safe. And we know it's been a rough few years, and I wish I could take all of that hard part of it away, that extra hard that we've had lately, but we just want you to know how much we are grateful for you and appreciate all that you do to make Provo a wonderful place to be. And then with that, I would like to also offer a word of prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee so much for the opportunity we have to be here as a board, to help set policies and watch over our district, and we ask that would help us in our decisions, that we may do what is good for our students, for our teachers, and for our constituents. We ask Thee to please watch over our community members and our students especially, that they may have what they need, that they may be able to be successful. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Board Member Partridge. Next, we will be having the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm not sure who's doing that. Will you tell us your name and just come up to there and tell us your name? So if you'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. All right, next we're going to be having our Provo Way Awards.
Anne-Marie will lead.
And Anne-Marie Harrison will be leading us in that.
Thank you. I feel like I'm on the Great British Bake Off, and I am the one that gets to say, I have the absolute pleasure of announcing our winners this month. I'm filling in for my colleagues, so I do feel that way. This is my favorite part of board meeting every month, where we get a chance to look at some employees and volunteers who are being recognized by their colleagues and by patrons for their great work. So each month, employees, families, students can nominate any of our staff members or volunteers to recognize them for something special. A committee then gets together, our celebration committee, and narrows that down to a few recipients. And I'm happy to announce we have 5 this month. As I say their names, I would invite them to stand so we can all see you, and then we'll sit and watch a video of where you were notified of this great announcement. So first we have Candy Jackson, the lead secretary at Lakeview Elementary. We have Michelle Fordham, who teaches at Sunset View Elementary. We have Gail Painter from Provo Adult Ed. Heather Chatwin. Everyone knows Heather. She's in our school nursing program. And we have a volunteer who does a track and cross-country club for some of our students, John Hedengren. So we'll watch that video, and then I'll invite you each to come up, and our board members want to give you a fist bump or a handshake or whatever you're comfortable with. Thank you.
We are the Provo Way Committee. We are here at Lakeview Elementary to surprise Candy Jackson, who's the head secretary here. So let's go surprise her.
So on behalf of the board, we wanted to say thank you for all the wonderful hard work that you've been doing here at Lakeview. And Mr. Barker's the one here that nominated you. Thank you.
So that was the easiest nomination ever. Candy, what doesn't Candy do? She's the happy face that greets everybody. She keeps me on track of what I'm doing. When Jamie and I got assigned here, neither of us really knew what was going on with a lot of the things in the office, and Candy just right from the start took us under her wing, and you know, we always joke that the head secretary really runs the school, but it's not really a joke. She keeps things going so well, working so smoothly for us, and she's just a great asset, and we're lucky to have her here at the school.
Well, thank you. I love working at Lakeview. I love working with all of you guys to make this job not a job.
We are here to celebrate Michelle Fordham, who's a third grade teacher. We are really excited to have this opportunity, so let's go surprise her.
Congratulations. So on behalf of the school board, no, you're doing a great job.
Your teacher, Mrs. Fordham, is pretty awesome. I came here new to the school district, new to the school, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. But Mrs. Fordham was like, I got your back, and she helped me a ton. And she's helped our whole team do awesome things. And what I've seen her do with you kids, I'm just blown away by how much effort she puts into you and how much love she has for each of you. So I'm like, man, this lady is awesome, and I want her to know it. So congratulations, Mrs. Ford.
You can say something if you like. Hello everyone, my name is Siraj, and we are here with the Celebrations Committee to celebrate Gail Painter, a teacher here at Adult Ed. We're really looking forward to surprising her.
On behalf of the board, congratulations, and we heard just the amazing things you do here at Adult Ed. So thank you so much. But Kendra is the one that nominated you, so I'm going to let her talk a little bit.
You are awesome.
Gail is just amazing. I get to teach across the hall from her, and she's just so loving and caring to all of her students. She prepares incredible lessons that are working to meet their needs and stretch them beyond what they think they're capable of doing, and encourages them in a way that they feel like they can do things that are very difficult. And so one day when I grow up, I want to be like you.
I'm Siraj. We're with the Celebrations Committee. We're here at Wasatch Elementary School to recognize Heather Chatwin, who is the lead school nurse in our district. So let's go surprise her.
Well, on behalf of the board, we wanted to say thank you for all the hard work you've done this year and the past couple of years.
Thank
everything you do
you.
for our district. So thank you so much.
I feel like it's for all the nurses, all the health clerks, all of our team that really has done a lot.
The health clerks are who nominated you, so I'm going to turn some time to Bonnie.
Yes, Bonnie, please.
That's so nice.
Oh, you know, I know that for the past couple of years, Heather's job has not been an easy one. That every day when she leaves Wasatch, she has hours that is still spent doing her job.
Yeah.
Almost every week, every weekend, she is still doing her job.
Thanks,
and we just felt like
Bonnie.
she's put in so much effort and so much work that we thought she needed a pat on the back.
Thank you. That's so sweet. You guys are so nice. Thank you. I'm shaking.
Good afternoon and welcome to Rock Canyon Elementary. We are the Celebration Committee from Provo City School District, and we are here on this lovely afternoon to surprise John Hedengren with the Provo Way Award. We're going to go around the corner where he's coaching the kids.
I am Rebecca Nielsen. I'm from the school board. On behalf behalf of the school board and myself, we want to thank you so much for the wonderful work you do here with all these kids and tell you congratulations on winning the Provo Way Award this month.
Wow.
And as parents and athletes, we all love Coach John, right? He's the best.
Yeah.
He's so encouraging and inclusive and fun. He makes running fun. He makes everybody happy. So we're just grateful for all you do.
Oh, thank you, Lindy.
Sure, congrats.
Let's give them one more round of applause. Come up right here.
They love you clearly. Thank you for all that you do.
Hello again, and thank you so much for volunteering and all you do, really.
That's right.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for everything.
We are so grateful to all our employees and our volunteers. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thanks for all you do. Thanks for coming tonight. Thank you. Thanks so much. Great job.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just going to put a little plug in for John Hedegren's kids. Both his daughter and his son both got second place and seventh place in cross country at the state level. So tell them congratulations. So next we're going to have a school report by Principal Seth Hansen on Rock Canyon.
Well, Alex just wished me good luck on my way up, so everything should be great. Good evening. I'm excited to share with you a little bit about how Rock Canyon has been over the last few years, some of the successes and some of the bumps we've had along the way. Just real quick overview of this year, currently what the demographics are at Rock Canyon. Our enrollment is about 541, new to the school 48 students for this year. We ended last year in the upper 400s, so we had a lot of new kids come in, kids returning. The 48 new to school does not include kindergarten, which we had quite an increase in. Some of the other pieces of demographics, English language learners has increased over the last few years. As you can see, a couple years ago we were 4.6%, 7.8% last year, and now we're at 9.9%. And we're finding a lot of those students are brand new to the country as well, so a lot of them are level 1 English language learners. Students with disabilities, 10.1%, and free and reduced lunch, 21.68%, which has actually gone down over the last couple of years. However, I can't say for sure how many of that's because kids have not had to apply for the vouchers over the last 2 years. So I'm curious to see what happens over the next couple of years when we have that data a little bit more up to date. Looking at some of our overall assessment data, English language arts is in the blue, math is in the red, science is in the, I'm colorblind, so I'm guessing that's an orangish kind of color. Correct me if I'm wrong, Melanie.
Sounds good.
Does that look good enough?
Yeah.
Okay. No data from 2020 as we didn't have those assessments done, and we just barely got the assessment results from last year at the end of this last school year. We have a lot of holes. I'm sure this is something that you've heard from all of the schools as you visited the different elementary schools, where there's a lot of catching up we have to do over the next foreseeable future because of how much COVID impacted things. We're seeing it in reading especially, and so some of the things I'll share a little bit later have to do with that. For specifically in reading, looking at the Acadians or Dibbles, this first slide is achievement, meaning what they actually scored. Blue is students who scored above benchmark, and green is at benchmark. and those trends have kind of gone down a little bit. The data line at the very top is grade level or above, so both the blue and green combined, and we've always floated around that 78 to 90%. And again, no data from 2020 for end of the year. The growth, this is still with Acadians, but it has more to do with where they started at the beginning of the year and how much they grew, what would be typical for a student starting at the same point. So this is in some ways a better measure to see how much impact did we have as a school on those students. And it's broken down into 5 different areas. What I'll point out is just the top trend line is kids who made typical or above typical growth. And that's where we're putting a lot of our focus, is trying to help kids wherever they're starting at, trying to help them increase and grow, when they get to the end of the school year. Okay, this is missing some things in it. Sorry about that, Bonnie. That's all right. So I'll talk about some of these plus some of the other challenges and solutions. So we've had one is, like I talked about reading proficiency. We're doing a lot of work on getting 95% core instruction in our kindergarten through 3rd grade classes, tier 3 instruction for students. We have about between 50 and 90 students at any given time who are getting more intensive reading instruction. We've had increase in ELL number of students, so we've put a larger emphasis on hiring aides who have second language, particularly Spanish, who are able to help in the classrooms, along with not just translation, but also with helping, just regular help in the classrooms. We've also been making sure that we have a Spanish speaker in the front office, so one of our assistant secretaries who can help our not just the students, but also help their parents to navigate the system and feel welcome. Concern with hiring is another big challenge that we've had. Again, a trend that's throughout the whole district. Being able to have people, we have pushed a huge emphasis through networking, through current employees, through whether it's roommates or friends or neighbors that they have. So we're doing a lot to bring people in who already know Rock Canyon, who already love Rock Canyon, to come and work with us. So that's been very helpful. I think we've been able to fill a lot more positions than some of the other schools, because we've pushed a lot for that. Some points of pride, we're doing a lot over the last couple years in the STEM or STEAM area. We had a community night where we had our art teacher doing art that integrated science. We'll have a couple more that will include some of our some community members who will be teaching those, some parent nights. Those bottom 2 pictures are one of our space labs that we do that helps to teach science in the classroom. There's a lot of tradition at Rock Canyon. There's a lot of things that that have been there for many, many years that we're trying to continue to make sure that we keep that up in spite of COVID, including our fun run, including the different parades that we have. So those are things that we're working to continue. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Please.
Is Kristen Barnum your favorite teacher?
That's a very pointed question.
She's watching.
I'm not going to answer that one. She is one of our many awesome teachers, though. Yes.
She's a friend of mine.
Yes. I will say she is one of my favorite teachers. How's that?
Oh, good.
We have a lot of, I think that's one thing that has made me feel so welcome. This is my 4th year there, and the teachers are just, they're so committed and so connected with the students and the community at Rock Canyon. They really do a lot to put their all into this school and really love it there. So she is one of my favorite teachers, yes.
I've got a question. So I noticed on your testing data that from 2018 to 2019, you made significant improvements. One more back. Yeah.
The achievement?
No, one more.
Rise?
Back. Yeah, that one. So I'm just curious, did you do something targeted, specific, those to go from that? And are you still trying to continue that?
Right. I wish I had a good answer for you. I don't know exactly what impacted that. I came just at the beginning of the 2018-2019 year, and so I don't know. Some of the staff is some of the teachers were a little bit different from between those years, so I can't say exactly.
It's you arriving.
It's me arriving. I'd hate to say that because I think Dean was a pretty phenomenal principal there as well, and a lot of the teachers are the same there. So I don't know. I don't have an exact answer on that, Jennifer. That's a really good question. Right now, we're just trying to capitalize on the things that are working well and moving forward that way. There are a number of things that I did implement since I've been there that hadn't been there, but I can't say that those were magic bullets that fix things, but just things that we felt we wanted to implement. Dean was he's a very competent principal. He did not have a facilitator at the time. When I came in, Keith said, let's get you a facilitator as well. So I've had one since about 3 months of my first year, and the first thing I had her work on was getting the Tier 3 reading interventions started so that students who had reading holes that were 2 or 3 years behind where they were being taught could start to get filled, those holes were. So that's one of the things we're trying to capitalize on. I can't say that's what made the difference for sure, but yeah, that's a great question.
Did you have a question?
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got a lot going on Timpview Drive, and and in the news there's just been a lot of pedestrians. How are you feeling about what steps are you taking in sort of student safety and getting kids into school and out of school, and just talk me through that. So
that's a great question. I'll have
as
Melanie
I slow
answer.
down, I can be more
Yeah,
aware.
no, it's a great question. It's something that's a concern. We talk about a lot in our community council and in PTA, finding ways to do that, particularly with the shortage in crosswalk coverage. There are a couple of crosswalks that our students use. One is at the four-way stop there at 2320 North on Timpview Drive, and then the other one down a little bit further south at the light. So one is just making sure that those are covered. A lot of students get picked up. A lot of that is happening. That's something we're still working with the city on as well to try and find staffing. We've done a lot of outreach to community members to find people who can help with those crosswalks too.
That's great. And maybe another question in a different area is, can you just tell me a little bit about the professional development around your curriculum and what, as we, especially our math, and you get new teachers and new staff, what goes into mentoring a teacher there?
Yeah. Fortunately, we don't have as much turnover in faculty as a lot of, we didn't have any new teachers this year. Most of our teachers have been around for 3+ years. Facilitator does a lot with that. We have a professional development coordinator who also does that when we have new teachers. For math, we're doing a lot in our PLCs as well, because we have a lot of seasoned teachers who help out with that professional development. That math is an area that we are starting to implement more of a Tier 3 model as well in. There's not been a really good Tier 3 model for math I think that's one area that a lot of people struggle with, finding out a good way to reach those students. But we're doing a lot in that as well. We have carved out time daily that students are able to get more intensive intervention for math, using the current Into Math curriculum that the district's adopted, but using a lot of the intervention resources that they have. So a lot of it has to do with the teamwork, the grade level teamwork, and then also some of the more experienced teachers and our facilitator who's more experienced in that too.
If I can ask one more.
Yeah.
Can you talk just a little bit about the culture of your school? It seems to me that your kids are the happiest kids going to school ever. It just seems in the morning they're all smiley. I don't know what it is. What's going on in the culture of this school that kids like coming to school?
They do like coming to school. I think there's a lot of answers to that, McKay. I think a lot of it is we have a community that loves this school. We try and bring them in as much as we can. Having COVID hit was really, really hard, not being able to have volunteers, because daily we have just dozens and dozens of parents that come in to help in the classrooms. They feel connected and we welcome them. We don't want to close the door. We want to keep it open and invite them as much as we can. A lot of them went to Rock Canyon when they were kids. So there's a lot of that historical connection to the school. We love our kids. We try and put that first, and we remind ourselves why we're doing things. It's not for the tests, it's not for anything. I take as much time as I can to go out and just talk with the kids, to play in the playground with kids. The teachers do a lot of that too, and the staff. So I think a lot of the focus is we're focusing on the whole child, not just the scores. And I think there's been enough of that happening, for many years that it's easy to kind of continue that and to keep people coming and knowing we love you here. And even when things are hard, we're not going to punish you. We're going to help you to work through the difficult things of growing up. So.
Doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions?
I have one. When I visited with you a couple of weeks ago, we talked a little bit about STEM coming into your school. Can you take a minute and just describe that,
Yeah,
please?
sure. I shared a little bit in that slide, but so we don't want to rush into implementing STEM and making it haphazard and not focused. So we do have a committee of staff and parents who are looking at what does STEM need to look like at Rock Canyon. We already have the Infinity Labs that's happening in a number of the upper grades classes, so students have culminating experiences working through that. But coding is something that we've been doing at the school with different programmables in the different grade levels. Our computer lab space, which is no longer as needed as it was before we had the one-to-one devices, is something we're looking at converting into a STEM lab as well. So those are some of the areas that we're working on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any further questions?
I have one more.
Go ahead.
You're one of the schools that has been piloting the visitor management system. How's that been going for you guys?
How's that going? It's tricky. I know that we've kind of put a halt on pushing it out to other schools while they're working through some of the bugs. One of them is the new U-Truck driver's license is not being recognized very well by the system, so the Raptor company is working on fixing that. A lot of our work, and huge kudos to my front office staff, because they always maintain such a friendly, welcoming atmosphere to the building. And that's another answer to your question earlier, McKay. There's just a really friendly outlook. So if there's a little glitch, they say, come on in. We're still piloting it. We're still working through bugs, and we don't want that to hinder parents from coming into the school. We just have different workarounds for that. So it's a little bit bumpy. I'm confident that as bugs get worked out, it'll get more and more smooth. Our patrons are getting more and more used to it as well, and our understanding of the reasons why we're doing it. We've done a lot of that groundwork, and big thanks to Doug Finch and Jason Garrison and the student services for helping with that, to navigate things with all of our parents and the rest of the community, so they understand the reasons why. But it's kind of like insurance. It's a necessary evil. It's not fun, but there's a lot of benefit to knowing who's coming in the building in that secure of a way. So I think everyone's been able to understand that and work through it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Principal Hansen, and tell everybody hello for me over at Rock Canyon.
Thank you.
So.
Good job. Good job, Seth.
All right. Now we've come to the portion about public input. On my right, your left, is a paper if you would like to address the board that needs to be filled out. And if doing so, after filling it out, if you would hand it to Bonnie over here, she will take it and then we will call you. You'll have 3 minutes. We'd also ask you that you would state your name and what area or what school you're with, so we kind of know where you're from. So I'll call up first Doris Kim.
Good evening. My name is Doris Kim, and my kids attend Westridge Elementary School. I'm a mother of 4 kids. I actually used to teach at Timpanogos Elementary School for a few years with Seth. And right now, I'm an active member of the Asian American Parent Advisory Committee. And I am so grateful for that committee. I'm grateful for the opportunity that we have to be able to give our voice. I've been able to work with Gina. She's come to some of the meetings as we've combined with Pacific Islanders, and it's really encouraging for people, for me, I'll speak for myself, to see someone on the board that looks like me and knows my experiences, and so I'm really grateful for her representation. It is very encouraging. I would like to acknowledge and thank all of the educators in this district who continue to go above and beyond. This has been a rough 2 years especially, and I can only imagine how difficult it's been, and they've weathered the storms well. But I'm here tonight to address a systemic problem in Utah schools, namely, how does our district handle racism, hate speech, and discrimination towards our marginalized students? If you watched the news last night, you would have seen that there was a 10-year-old black student named Izzy in the Davis School District. She was on the autism spectrum and had dyslexia, and she also faced constant bullying by her peers, and despite reporting the bullying to teachers and the administration, they just failed to receive the support that they so desperately needed. The inaction of her school resulted in the tragic loss of her life. James Baldwin once said that the most despicable thing a person can be is indifferent to others' pain. This girl was in pain. Her family is in pain. Her community is in pain. And all of this could have been prevented if people just listened, if she was met with action and support. So what are we doing as Provo City School District to prevent this from happening in our district? What protocols are in place to ensure that discriminatory behaviors are taken seriously? How can we better support our students, parents, and teachers to properly handle these situations? In the recent DOJ report that was recommended to Davis School District, they had, I think, 7 outlines, bullet points of what they could do to improve. And I'll just go over some of them. 1, retaining a consultant to review and revise anti-discrimination policies and procedures. I feel this is so important because we need people who are professionals in this field who can give fresh eyes and a perspective for how we can improve that in our district. 2, create a new department to handle complaints of race discrimination. 3, implement a centralized electronic reporting system to track and manage complaints and the response. If I can track my pizza from the time it's made to the time it's delivered, then these things should also be trackable. It's more important than a pizza, right? And train staff how to identify, investigate, and respond to complaints of racial harassment. As a mother of 4...
Thank you.
Oh,
sorry.
Thank you.
If you want to just wrap up, but thank you.
Just as a mother of 4, especially as a, multiracial, with multiracial children, I want school to be a safe place for my kids, and I hope that you guys listen and you learn from the mistakes of other districts so that we can prevent these in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Amber Mitchell.
I don't have COVID. I was tested yesterday. I just have a cough. Okay. My name is Amber Mitchell. I have 3 children. They go to Washington Elementary School. They are biracial. They are half black, and I'm part of the Black Advisory Committee. This is my 3rd year. So I had all these things to say today, but what happened to Izzy? And then my daughter came home yesterday and said she wishes she was white, because nobody looks like her. And I messed up. And I know more about this stuff than most people do because I've been very aware of black-white issues and all this stuff. My master's, everything, and I messed up and I said, well, do you think they were, she said, the kids stare at me. And I said, well, is it because of the clothes you're wearing? Maybe they like the clothes you wear. Maybe because they really like your hair. Maybe because you talk too much in class. I dismissed the idea of race, and I messed up. And too often, nobody in this room, not many people in this room can understand what that race really is. When you walk in a room, you automatically identify race as the first thing, and we can't deny that, and that can be celebrated. It's amazing. I love to walk into a room and see somebody that is from a country that I've been to and I can relate to them. I love to see black people. I love to see black children so that I can go connect with them so my children have a good connection. My child doesn't have somebody to connect with. And that's not necessarily I messed up. And so as a mother, I'm still learning, and as us, I want to encourage us as a board and as teachers to continually to push ourselves to learn about our unconscious bias and why representation is so important. That our teachers, to go off what Dory just said about teaching our kids, when my daughter goes to the school counselor about a feeling that she's not dismissed about race, that these teachers, if you are white or if you are black or whatever you are, that you know how to address race. And you are not dismissing that, because the first thing my 10-year-old is experiencing that I do not experience is, are they looking at me because I'm different, because I have curly hair and no one else has curly hair, because I have brown skin, and the only other brown skin kids that are around me have straight black hair. It's not me. They don't see themselves. We have to continue to educate ourselves. I love our school counselor, and I think the school counselors are amazing, and I listened to our social workers speak last year. I want them to continue to learn. I want the board to continue to learn, to say, how do we address these issues so that my child doesn't come home saying, I wish I was white. I don't want my child to ever, I don't want to have the conversation about what suicide is. And unfortunately, Utah has a huge problem of suicide. So please, I'm just asking that as you guys support EDI and support the committees, I invite you to come to our committee meetings on a monthly basis. I invite the superintendents and our administration to please come and attend. We have panel discussions. We have things that we want to do to make a positive impact for our children by giving them books and giving them association with each other. And we need that from you guys, and we are very desperate for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Audrey Vivian.
Hi, I'm Audrey Vivian, and I have students at Timpview and Spring Creek Elementary. My son Robert is a junior at Timpview. He's been a part of the automotive program since his freshman year and takes these classes very seriously as he's planning a career as an auto mechanic. Robert is currently the president of the automotive section at Timpview for Skills USA that students pay to join, and provides opportunities to work on and fix problems on personal vehicles. Skills USA also provides scholarship opportunities through participation in competitions. 2 years ago, under normal circumstances, there were 30 students in this club. Last year, even with the difficulties presented by COVID-19 restrictions, there were 21 students in the club, and Robert was able to spend hundreds of hours after school working with these students, providing invaluable experiences to him and those he worked with. This year, because of the diminished capacities of the auto shop, there are only 6 students in this club, and the opportunities of the past have nearly evaporated. For many years, students were encouraged and able to bring personal vehicles into the shop for both individual and structured class-based activities for many of the students enrolled in the automotive classes. The variety in both make and model of these personal vehicles provided more effective and expanded learning experiences through planning and preparing the specific repairs the classes and individuals would perform on each vehicle. The classes are also typically robust enough to provide opportunities for students to earn college credit through concurrent enrollment through UVU. Without the ability to bring vehicles into the auto shop, the academic rigor and expanded opportunities these vehicles provide could put into question whether this college credit can be justified. We've been told that all external access to the auto shop has been completely closed because of construction. In previous attempts to bring awareness to and resolve this issue, the response that there's nothing that can be done for the entirety of the construction project, which is expected to last for at least 3 years. We were also told the sacrifices have to be made because the construction requires adaptation to changes. But how can degrading the quality of the instruction and experiences of these students be considered an acceptable sacrifice? There are clearly risks to traveling through construction zones, but there must be ways to mitigate these risks. For example, finding an individual at the construction company that could be responsible for coordinating times and authorize individuals to be escorted through the construction zone to the auto shop. There are solutions out there. I hope that together we can find and implement one. The reward for such efforts is the return of the variety and robustness that will provide students interested in these classes the experiences they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Martina Huntington. We have a portable mic, just if you want.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but we can also get you a portable mic too.
There's a mic. Okay.
Great.
Hi everyone, I'm Martina Huntington. I'm an IT project manager, and my son goes to Lakeview Elementary. And my hope in coming to speak with you today is to just ensure that every child, every student as a part of the district feels welcomed and safe when they go to school. As Doris Kim mentioned, there were some recommendations made to Davis County about the different policies that should be in place for their school district, and I thought, wow, what a great opportunity for us as Provo School District to further our efforts in welcoming students of all colors and races and abilities, and educating our educators and arming them with the different tools that they can use and lean on as different incidences might arise relating to the differences among students. Sometimes, as we all know, students aren't really well versed in reporting the incidences of bullying, and it could be due to anything, right? It could be due to race, it could be due to ability, learning discrimination, whatever. How can we be at the forefront of this as a district and put in place these policies and these trainings to help our teachers to know where we stand as a district, to know where we stand as a school, to arm them with these different ways of conducting these conversations, and how do we teach our students to behave, and how we speak with each other. And having these policies in place is just something that extra for us to lean on and to know where we stand, so that all of us are on the same page, and when it comes right down to the situation happening, we know exactly what to say and how to handle it. And my hope is to create an environment where everybody feels welcome and everybody feels safe. I feel like it's such a simple thing that we just need to put our heads together and get training on. I'm sorry, as an IT project manager, I always say, so what do you think? Are we on the same page? Can we get this moving along? I'm here as a resource if you need me in any way. I just want to provide a good environment, a safe environment for all of our kids.
Thank you. David Lewis.
How are you tonight? I've left a couple of articles.
I've got it
you
here,
can review later.
And I can share it with the board.
And I hope that you have, if you already haven't had a discussion as a school board, I hope that you do. I'm not going to read anything, but I'm concerned by the public discussion and comments about parents' responsibility and involvement, and having the opportunity to have input in their child's education. So at the highest levels, from the National School Board Association to our Attorney General to one of the presidents of the largest teachers union in the nation, who said parents claim they have no right to shape their kids' school curriculum. They don't. And I'm hopeful that this, so I care. I love my kids, and I love their friends, and I care, and I know all other parents care as well. I'm not discounting that, but just the arrogance, and I'm not saying from this school board, from other school boards and from other teachers throughout this country, and that's a concern. And so I'd like to know where the Provo City School District is on that issue, and that's my hope, that there will be either a public statement or a clarification, the trend in the nation, where it is and then where Provo is. I'm hopeful. I think I know where it is, and that's my only request. Thanks.
Thank you. Lindsey Backus. I always say your name wrong. I know you.
Hi everyone, I'm Lindsey Backus. I'm actually going to hand this back over here because these microphones have been through a lot. So my name is Lindsey Backus. I am PEA president. I also work in the teaching and learning department as an instructional coach and curriculum specialist. I just wanted to stand and express my gratitude and appreciation from my association for your continued support of teachers and students and your generosity with our stipends that are coming on November 19th and also in March. We have talked again and again about the challenges that we faced over the last 2 years. I just wanted to express my appreciation to you, and I look forward to our continued collaboration to support students and teachers and employees in our school district. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? All right, seeing none, as you know, that this is a chance for you to speak to us, but we don't refer to you. We don't reciprocate this, but I just want to tell what I heard. I heard that we want to make sure that every child has a safe and welcoming place, that we need support for DEI. We need to have support to bring a personal auto in and find a way to do that. I'm also hearing about concerns about making sure that we have parent input in our children's education. If you have any further questions about that, feel free to reach out to us as a board, and we would be happy to work things with you. So thank you for your public input tonight. Next, we're going to go to our business items. Our first item on the agenda is the Provo High School fee schedule adjustment. Keith, do you want to address that for us?
This is the second opportunity, second review. Actually, Devin, why am I doing this? Thanks so much. And Devin does an even better job of this.
So this is the second chance to review the Provo High School Performing Arts fee for the trip that they are taking in New York. And this is all of the performing arts groups at Provo High. So this is the last time you'll hear about this one.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move that we, sorry, I can't find the recommendation. I move that we approve the fee schedule as discussed in the study session.
I second the motion.
Okay, so motion made by Board Member Jensen, second made by Board Member Bryson. Is there any further comments on or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. There was one that was left off, but we discussed it in the study session, so we need to add it at this time. We need to approve the student out-of-state travel. So if there's somebody that could make a motion on that. Or Keith, do you want to talk about that one first?
Okay, we have one request. November is one of the months where the board will consider out-of-state travel requests. This is an out-of-state travel request from the Timpview High School ballroom dance team to go to California right around and on the President's Day weekend in February 2022.
All right, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the student out-of-state travel as discussed in study session.
Motion made by Board Member Partridge. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Board Member Hales. Is there any further discussion on this motion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Next, we need to approve the consent calendar. Is there a motion on that?
I move we approve the consent calendar.
Motion made by Board Member Nielsen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Jensen. Is there any further comments or discussion on the consent calendar?
Do we need to say in it as long as they add that piece of paper?
You have the report in your email.
Oh,
I
okay.
sent it
And
before
so-
the beginning of
but
the
as the
Yeah, we'll make sure
consent-
as it will be fixed. Yeah. Okay. Any other further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. So I have the privilege to give the board member report today. Over the weekend, the news, sorry if I get emotional about this. I try not to get emotional, but the news reported of 8 deaths at the Astrodome at a concert in Houston. And this brought back a really tender memory for me. When I was in high school, one of my classmates was one of the victims at the AC/DC concert. And it made me reflect a lot about the things that have happened in our district over just the last couple weeks. We lost a loving mother and her son who attended Timpview to a tragic accident on I-15. We had a young man get hit in a crosswalk on his way to school to Timpview. Another boy was hit riding his bike while he was coming home from Timpanogos. My heart goes out to the families and communities of these that are affected. I'm so grateful for the support that our district office offers during this time. That would have been really helpful for me when the tragedy happened when I was in high school. So I'm grateful for those opportunities and that we have so much support for when it happens. Sorry. May we look for ways to discuss safety with our children. There's opportunities to work as a crossing guard or in our schools. So slow down, don't text and drive, don't drink and drive. Be aware of your surroundings. Tell those around you how important and loved they are. I want to tell everyone thank you on this board for all of the thankless hours that they do here. I appreciate them, each and every one of them, so much. We want to say thank you to all of our staff, and we hope that the bonus that we're giving you on November 19th shows how much we appreciate you. And I hope that everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. So next, we'll have our superintendent's report.
Thank you. I have just 2 items. I have approved, I believe it's 7. Let me pull that up real quick again. Out-of-state travel requests. Excuse me, in-state travel requests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 5 of them for Provo, 5 of them for Timpview, 2 of them for Provo High School, and these are according to the authority the board has given me to approve those. And the other thing I wanted to say was that just wanted to put out a thank you to the HR department and the finance department for quickly putting into practice the slight increases in pay for subs and also the addition of the stipends for classified staff. We've started to see some improvements in the fill rates for subs and also some significant improvements in filling classified positions. So I just want to say thanks to, in particular, those 2 departments in our district that made that happen, and of course to the board for giving permission to support those 2 initiatives. That's my report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that comes to the end of our agenda. We appreciate you guys being here. And is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. Have a good evening.